Alright, what's up everyone? My name is Chills. I'm a part of the Discovery Freelancer Gaming community. If we haven't talked or introduced, welcome to my channel. Welcome to my first episode of the Snub PvP Basics series that I wanted to start. I feel that there are not a lot of great tutorials out there for beginning players, players that are wanting to get into flying fighters and really don't know where to start. So that's the point of this series. I want to make it interactive with people within the community. Would love to answer questions, provide maybe some coaching or some tips if I can. Selfless plug, I am one of the administrators of the Snub PvP or Fighter PvP server, Discord server. If you need a link to it, I will include it in the description of this video. It's ran by a group of players, including myself, that are dedicated to showing new and returning players how to fly fighters more effectively in all scenarios, as well as bombers. So, always enjoy having new people join. Please join and ask away, ask questions, come say hello to us. Be happy to, show you the way in regards to, how to fly fighters effectively. So, the first thing I'll start with is my control scheme. I think that's a good place to start for any sort of tutorial series like this. Everyone has their own control schemes and you're going to find what works for you, but I'm going to show you my personal one, and I'm just going to highlight a few key components of flying fighters that are really important to bind in terms of keybinds. So, let's go to my controls. We're going to start right at the top here. I have my engine kill button bound to C, the C key. I believe that you should have, any snub player should have engine kill and reverse thrust somewhere easily locatable on their keyboard, assuming they're using a standard, WASD style layout for playing this game. So I have my engine kill on C and my reverse thrust on X. I believe the default control scheme has engine kill on Z. I know some players are comfortable with that. I found it extremely uncomfortable for the way I place my hands on the keyboard. So a good friend of mine, Rax, suggested I use the C key for engine kill, and I find that it's been extremely helpful. One of the other really important areas of controls and where to have control keys are your strafe keys. So strafing left, right, up, and down is super important for flying effectively, both in duels and in group fights. So I have them bound to WASD, W and S to strafe up and down, A and D to strafe left and right. So my fingers are almost always positioned on my strafe keys when I am, flying a fighter or a bomber. I right click to shoot my guns. Some people don't, most should. I would say, keep that standard. For missiles, I have a side mouse button to fire missiles. I find it's more effective than having a weapon group dedicated to them or something like that. So I don't find that effective. So I've went ahead and used one of my side mouse buttons to bind missiles to. For mines, mines are also really important, as well as cruise disruptors, or what we call CDs. To have those readily accessible. You use them quite a lot when you're flying fighters. So I like to have my mine key on E and my cruise disruptor on Q. I have them nice and handy. Countermeasures I have to my V key, which really is for if I'm being chased in a group fight and I need to use countermeasures to shake missiles or to block some sort of incoming tracking projectile, whether that's something from a gunboat or a torpedo or something of that nature. My countermeasures are bound to V. So the other distinction I'd like to show in my control scheme are my fire weapons 5 and 6. I have those bound to my number keys 5 and 6, and my 1 through 3, although I have this here for some reason, this should really be here. I don't have keys for firing my weapon groups. I don't find that to be helpful. I just have these for firing weapons. This helps me with what's called chain firing, which I'll go over in another video. But for my weapon groups, I typically run 3 main ones. So to activate my weapons group 1 is just to press 1, 2, and 3 here. So back here into the main interface, I will typically use 3 main weapon groups when I am flying fighters. So my first weapon group is the all-gun weapon group. So as you can see here on the bottom right, I have all 7 of my forward-facing weapons selected. This is the main dueling weapon group that I will use to de-shield somebody in a duel. I will use all of my guns to de-shield, and then I will use my second weapon group, if I press my 2 key, to fire all of my hull weapons, hull damaging weapons. I don't have my shield weapons on here because, or my anti-shield weapons on here because this is assuming the enemy is already de-shielded, and this saves me some power core to not fire 2 extra weapons in my arsenal here. And then my last weapon group 3, is for just my shield, anti-shield weapons. This is for if I'm chasing somebody in a group fight and I need to de-shield them without using a whole bunch of power core, so I can save, you know, my power core for my second weapon group like this. I would use this to de-shield, and then use my hull busters to do hull damage to the enemy. The only other key that I'm realizing that I forgot to mention here is the scan cargo button. I have that also bound to a mouse button. It's the top of my scroll wheel, and what I use that for is if I'm in a duel and I need to know how many regens, meaning shield batteries and nanobots, that somebody has, or if they're running out of missiles or they're running out of torpedoes, or something that I think is important to know when either in a duel or in a group fight, I'll quickly be able to press on the mouse wheel while they are selected in my targets in order to scan their cargo, quickly see, okay, this guy's running out of nanobots, so we should focus him and kill him, or something like that. So that's the first episode, just control scheme and weapon groups. I think that's a good place to start with this, and I will follow up with more tutorials shortly. Thanks, guys.